Good day to all. I'm Parvati Meena, Assistant Professor of English. In this video, we look into a very interesting topic, archetypes in literature. Now we look into what archetypes are. Tracing the etymology of the word archetype, we understand that it has a Greek origin. Originating from two Greek words arche and tupos, mingling to form archetypon, which became archetype in English. The word archetype means something molded from the first origin. Archetypes or prototypes, which are universally recognizable elements and are typical examples of a certain person or thing. They are recurring universal patterns found in history, art, stories, and myths. Northrop Frye and C.G. Jung are big names as far as archetypes are concerned. Herman Northrop Frye, whom we see in this picture, was a Canadian literary critic and literary theorist, and is considered as one of the most influential literary persons of the 20th century. According to Frye, archetypes are the residue to innumerable experiences of the same type undergone by the mind. Carl Gustav Jung, the person in this picture, is a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst who founded analytical psychology. His works influenced the fields of psychiatry, anthropology, archaeology, literature, philosophy, psychology, and religious studies. He opines that archetype is a primitive mental state inherited from the ancestors supposed to be present in the collective unconscious. He thinks that archetypes are symbols, images, and characteristics which are passed on from one generation to the other through the racial memory called collective unconscious. We'll now move on to the idea of why we need archetypes. Archetypes help people to experience life at will. They are factors which motivate people and they are known to promote human actions. Archetypes, when incorporated in literature, helps the readers to relate to events and characters. It helps the readers and audience to understand their inner world, that is, their mind, which is filled with fantasies, imagination, and emotional life. It also helps them to acquire a sense of personal meaning. There are 4 types of archetypes that are recognized. The first one is the character archetype, which discusses people and characteristics who are prototypes or models. The second is the situational archetype, which are models of situations and events. The third, setting archetypes, explain the prototypical places and arena that are used in literature. Symbolic archetypes elaborate on common signs and symbols and images too in literature. C.G. Jung talks about 12 common character archetypes. These 12 character archetypes can be classified into 4 characteristic types. The creator, the ruler, and the caregiver provide structure to the world and aim at innovation, control, and service. The innocent, the sage, the explorer, all these archetypes yearn for paradise, and their aim is to bring about safety, understanding, and freedom respectively. The hero, the magician, and the outlaw, they are unique people who try to leave a mark on the world and try to impose a mastery, power, and liberation to the world respectively. The lover, the jester, and every man are archetypes who stay connected with other people in the society, trying to bring about intimacy, enjoyment, and a sense of belonging. Situational archetypes are common situations and events. The battle between the good and the evil is the most common situation in literature, where the good triumphs and the bad is punished and the poetic justice is brought about. Cycle of life is a common situation which is depicted by death and the rebirth. Innate wisdom versus educated stupidity as expressed by Baroka versus Lakunle in showing us the lion and the jewel is a common situational archetype. The initiation of the hero into the journey of life, his journey and his quest are archetypes depicted across works of literature. A rich man becoming poor and poor becoming rich are also archetypes. Example for this archetype is Sudama from the story of Lord Krishna. Natural world set against the mechanistic world is another important archetype portrayed in literary works. Setting archetypes. These are places in which most of the activities of the literary work happen. Gardens, forests, rivers, the sea, the sky, islands, mountains, tower, and a small town. All these are settings. Gardens symbolize orderliness and beauty. Forests, on the other hand, symbolize wilderness and chaos. Rivers always symbolize the flow of life and time. The sea and the sky symbolize vastness. Islands depict or symbolize isolation. Mountains, aspiration. Wasteland, barrenness. A tower signifies altitude and a small town, self-containment. Symbolic archetypes are prototypes of images and symbols in literature. The following are the symbolic archetypes: light, darkness, water, fire, heaven, eyes, clouds, heart, and certain colors can also be seen as symbolic archetypes. Light symbolizes hope, darkness symbolizes terror and despair, water and fire symbolizes purity, heaven symbolizes a comfortable place, eyes signifies solitude, clouds they represent mind, emotion and intelligence, heart symbolizes love and affection. Colors can also be used to portray ideas like black, which depicts mystery and power, white, which represents purity and innocence, green always portrays fertility and freshness, red has a range of symbolic meaning like life, health, vigor, war, courage, anger, and passion. Three types of cycles can function as archetypes, such as the solar cycle, the seasonal cycle, and the life cycle. Each cycle corresponds to the other, and they are used in literature synonymously. Sunrise, spring, and birth represent the beginning. Noon, summer, and youth symbolizes the phase of growth. Evening, autumn, and old age depict the descending order of the cycle of life. Night, winter, and death, they are end of the cycle. These elements are used synonymously in literature as said earlier. When spring is brought about in the life of a character, it means it is the birth. Summer, when it is brought about, is seen to be the most happiest time of the youth's life. Autumn automatically symbolizes old age, and winter is always equated to death. Archetypes are highly impactful and can be summarized as follows. Archetypes impact the audience in such a way so that they connect themselves with certain parts of the literary characters. They understand that they are part of the universal model, which helps them believe that they can lead an anxious, free life without being afraid of the uniqueness or peculiarities in them. To conclude, archetypes help people to learn, create, co-create, and correct themselves to lead a peaceful life. Hope the video was an interesting one. Meet you all again with yet another interesting topic in my next video. Thank you.